All right, let's go ahead and get started. Karen, would you like to call the roll?
Poland,
Here.
Hofstadter,
Here.
Vaughn,
Here.
Shoemaker,
Here.
Coffee,
Here.
Khan,
Here.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to suspend the reading of the minutes?
So move Poland.
Second, Hoffy.
Poland,
Aye.
Coffee,
Aye.
Khan,
Aye.
Shoemaker,
Aye.
Hofstadter,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, may we have a motion to pass?
Shoemaker, I so move. Hofstadter, second.
Shoemaker,
Aye.
Hofstadter,
Aye.
Poland,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Coffee,
Aye.
Khan,
Aye.
Thank you. Bill Resolution 2020-14. Are there any questions on the bill this evening? Hearing none, may we have a motion to pay the bills?
Make a motion, Khan.
Second, Vaughn.
Khan,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Poland,
Aye.
Hofstadter,
Aye.
Shoemaker,
Aye.
Coffee,
Aye.
Thank you. Chief,
I don't have anything. Thank you.
you? Nate?
All right, the first thing, design review and planning and zoning will meet next week to look at facade improvements at the hotel as well as a lot split on Maslin Road for a proposed building lot that's under the minimum square footage requirements. The sidewalk project, we had 10 responses from engineering firms. The next step in that is to rate and review and rate the respondents, and then score them. Send our whoever scores the highest over to ODOT to confirm their eligibility, since there is ODOT funding involved. And then we move on from that point with negotiating contract and everything with the winner of the rating. So we'll be working on that. The skate park, they've been doing more work this week. They've had pretty good weather this week. They're moving along pretty well. I am working on a plaque for the donor's family. Wanted to recognize their descendants of a abolitionist from the 1800s. I don't have the exact years in front of me. I apologize. But they wanted something along the lines of, this park was donated by descendants of famed abolitionist John Brown. So I'm working on something that we can put in the concrete, like a bronze plaque. Nothing big, but something that'll go into the concrete itself. Talked to Spawn Ranch, and they said they do that all the time, so it's no big deal. I just need to get it rounded up. I'm not having the best luck finding them. They're not real common around here. So I think I'm going to have to resort to an online order. If anybody has any suggestions, I looked at both granite and marble and steel. The donor's family prefers bronze, so I'm trying to find something that'll work that way. And also, I think the steel and stone products are going to be much more likely to chip if it's in the concrete, in the skatable surface. And then you've got to look at replacing a whole section of concrete, and I'd like to avoid that if we can. So that's been kind of a fun project. Yeah.
Couldn't you look at like Thompson Memorial or something like that? They might have some idea.
Yeah, that like you see on war veteran stones.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'll see if they can.
Name.
Yeah.
there's a company, it's either in Cambridge or Zanesville, like all the historical markers. They
Yeah.
they would make that.
Yep.
But I don't know the name of the company or which town it's in for sure.
Right. Yeah, I did think of them as well. So.
And Nate, since Dan Miller just had the historical marker made, he might have at least the company name that you could check with to see if they could help as well.
Right. The next item, the Kimball extension. Did everybody should have all got a copy of the proposed extension? Is there any questions on that, or what are your thoughts?
Well, my thought is it's a bad time to charge anybody extra money when they're lucky to have food on their table right now. If they couldn't operate, for the other year at the current prices. We just gave them extra money, and they did away with the recycling incentive. So I'd like them to hold it the current prices.
It looked to me like the service price was actually going to decrease from $14.12 to $12.88. Is that correct, Nate?
It is. The billing goes up a little bit. I think it was 70 cents or something like that.
And Kelly, that was actually $14.72 because they added that 60 cents on that we agreed to last year.
Right.
Right.
If I did the math correct, it looked like it could go about 35 cents a month or $1.05 a quarter.
Right.
What was the $2.57 for?
I'm sorry?
The $2.57 per month residential subscriber, $4.60 per month per commercial subscriber.
That's the billing cost. That's been in the contract the whole time. There's the base rate and then the billing cost. There's actually two separate agreements. There's the refuse and recycling agreement, and then there's the billing agreement where they handle all the billing. And if you remember back in, was it 2015, this was a piggyback contract from the village of Sugar Creek. So it's set up the way theirs was set up, had to be virtually identical with updated pricing, of course. So I guess I'm not sure why it was ever two separate agreements, but that's just how it was set up. So, I don't know, Bob, do you have any recollection of that?
No, I don't, because you're right. It was a piggyback on Sugar Creek, and that's the way they had it set up. So that's to get their pricing. That's the way we had to set it up also.
And if I remember right, didn't they say if we don't do the billing contract, then we have to bill it?
Right.
Yeah. And that's going to be more on Marty. And you've got delinquent bills out there. I don't know. I think the billing contract is really nice.
If my numbers are right, I was looking at, it looked like last year, the amount which included the billing was $16.63. And this year, if we extend the contract for an additional year starting on July 1st, it would be $15.45.
Correct.
It came down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's about $1.18 cheaper based on the extended contract through 2021 of June 30th.
Right.
Okay.
So we're looking at $15.45
Yes.
per month? Okay.
Per resident, for the basic residential.
Right.
Yeah.
Nate, do you know if Nate, have they added anything or changed anything with that surcharge for the recycling? Has that gone away, or is this, are they going to come back and ask us, can you pay a little bit more like they did the last time, or what is happening with the recycling market?
I really don't. That was, obviously we gave them that last year. They've not said anything about changing that. The last I talked to our rep, she said that the recycling market was getting better.
Charlie.
I don't know what, I can't predict what it'll do going forward though. I couldn't tell you.
Well, with petroleum costs down, their fuel charges should be less.
Should be.
Is this our second 1-year extension of the 4 total we're allowed? Is that correct, Nate?
This is the third,
The third 1-year extension?
three of 5. We have
Oh,
five
3 of 5.
1-year extensions.
Okay.
And we all know which direction the rates are headed based on when we bid it out the last time. So we need to milk these 5 years as long as we can.
Mhm.
Does anybody know, I guess this is for my own personal reason, but what is the pre-purchase backyard service? I've never seen that before. It's $642 per month.
Yeah, that is for disabilities, elderly. They can call in and they don't have to take their can out to the street. They can get it picked up wherever they keep it.
Okay.
That's handled between Kimball and the customer.
Okay.
And then there's also, it's more for the single user, single resident or the elderly that don't generate much waste. We have a bag program. They can
Okay.
come in and buy bags.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So based on everything we've just talked about, is there, obviously July is the deadline to make a decision. Do you want to look at anything else, or are you comfortable extending tonight?
I'm comfortable extending tonight.
I agree.
I agree.
We have a formal motion on that, please.
I'll
I
make a
so moved.
motion.
Second, Poland.
Coffee,
Aye.
Poland,
Aye.
Hofstadter,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Shoemaker,
Aye.
Khan,
Aye.
The next item I'm working on, I have a meeting tomorrow at the commissioner's office for CDBG funding. I guess the formula changed must be the state level. So now the entire village is eligible for funding without doing income surveys. We used to have to go to the specific project area we were looking at and do income surveys. And they're very awkward, uncomfortable surveys to do. But now we don't have to worry about doing that. What I'm looking at doing is the water line on Worcester Road, replacing that from Walnut Street to West Jones and connecting Close Street. There's a dead end 6-inch coming from Walkup over towards Worcester Road. I want to connect that and loop everything. It's about 1,200 feet of water main. I've been talking to Schaefer Johnson to try to get an estimate together for tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen, but based on past projects, I think we're probably in the $80,000 to $90,000 range. It's not a very big project, but there are some complexities with traffic control and everything, of course. So that's my goal. The funding is for program year 2021-22. It's a 2-year cycle, so I don't, if we were selected, I don't know that it would be next year, but it could possibly be the following year. Is that something that's okay with everybody? I know it's short notice here, but I got notice last week that this meeting was going on, and it's tomorrow, so I wanted to run it by you all.
Hey,
I would be in
Nate,
favor.
yeah, I would too, but Nate, would you relocate that water line under the sidewalk and get it out of 83?
We could look at it. It would add a lot of expense, I think. Well, maybe not. We could look at that.
Okay.
Nate, what's the funding on that, you know?
There is 142,000 available, roughly.
For the county?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's no match required.
That's what I wondered.
Yeah. And it's
Okay.
administered by the county. So that's a good thing.
Yay.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know that, we have a shot, but I think it's worth trying at least, or asking, getting our name in.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Alley vacations, we had, as you all know, we had budgeted 10,000 this year for alley vacations. And what brought this up was I talked to Aaron from Baker Surveying, and he was asking where we're at with that. I just wanted to get a feel from everybody. I know we put some things on hold, but do you want to get moving on that? Now's the time to do it, this time of year, to get started. They can work it in as they have time. So, do you want to proceed?
I'd like to see us go ahead. I just want to make sure it's not going to interfere with anything down the road for, trying to get these lots sold for housing.
I would think, I can't think of a scenario where it would hurt them. I think it would benefit every time. They gain some more land, but the
Right.
adjoining property owners always retain the right to access their property. Correct, Bob?
Correct. Yeah, you can't landlock them, so they always have access to their lot.
And I don't think that any of the alleys that were chosen were ones back where they're undeveloped. It was all things that I think have development on all sides of them, that they wouldn't be affecting anything that is not developed yet.
And then we also retain utility easements on anything, so it's not going to hurt us either, should we need to run a water line or something in that area.
I guess I would be in favor of still going ahead with it. It's kind of a project that if we put it off, it would be easy to just kind of slip through the cracks. And I think if we just keep hitting it a little bit each year, then within a couple of years, hopefully we'll get them all knocked out. So I guess I'd be in favor of keeping it on the docket to do.
I have two neighbors out here by me. They would be very happy if it happened.
Okay. Well, we'll plan on, I'll get with them this week and get them rolling. Reminder cleanup day is the 27th from 8 to noon at the street department. We've got the dumpsters lined up just earlier this week. Sorry, I'm kind of thrown off since we didn't work Monday. Would have been yesterday. So that's all set up. And then the last thing, earlier tonight, I met with an Eagle Scout, Jonathan Miller. He is looking at a project down at the disc golf course at Deer Run Park. What he's proposing is, if you've been down there, there's the creek that runs over towards South Washington Street, runs east-west through the lower part of the park. There's I guess I'll call it a peninsula, for lack of a better term, beyond the north side of that creek. And there's a potential hole location over there. It's a pretty good sized landing area. So what he's proposing is to build a bridge across that creek. And I talked to him about making sure, we'd be involved from the get-go if this is allowed. We want to make sure it's high enough that if there is flooding, it's not going to be catching debris, backing things up, or getting washed out and getting sent downstream and causing damage. And what he's talking about is concrete pads, steel beams, anchoring the beams to the concrete. I think he's got the right design in mind. It's not a floodplain, so we don't have to worry about floodplain regulations. But I just wanted to, before I gave him the go-ahead, I wanted to make sure you guys were all okay with it as well. And it would be landing on our property on the other side as well, so there's not a concern there.
I don't have a problem with it.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yep.
Okay. I'll let him know he can go ahead, and I believe the next step are, funding. He has to come up with the funding. So again, this may not happen but he sounded pretty optimistic that it would. He's got a few things lined up already, so I'll go ahead and pass that on to him that you guys are all okay with it.
In regards,
I'm sorry.
sorry about that. In regards to that, I did hear from another gentleman, James Park, who's also pursuing an Eagle Scout project in the village. I forwarded his name or your name on to him and recommended a pavilion or some type of shaded area for the skate park.
Okay.
So we can very well have that also done later this year. So you should be hearing from him.
Sounds good.
Jeff, what was his first name?
James.
James Park?
Yeah, Parks. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Anything else, Nate?
I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen?
Nothing, thank you.
Bob?
I don't have anything.
Okay, the only thing I have is third reading of ordinance 2020-101 by title only. Ordinance amending zoning map of the village of Millersburg. Are there any questions? Hearing none, may we have motion to pass?
So moved, Poland.
Second, Hoppy.
Olin,
Aye.
Coffee,
Aye.
Khan,
Aye.
Shoemaker,
Aye.
Vaughn,
I abstain.
Hofstadter.
Aye.
Did you say you abstained, Tom?
Yes.
You abstained? Okay.
I'm on the trail coalition board, and I just don't think it's appropriate that I vote for that. We've worked on this project for a while, looking for a place for the garage.
I think that's very honorable, Tom.
Any committee reports? Old business.
I just want to thank everybody that helped their participate in the caravan to the hospital. It went over very well, and a lot of the nurses were very emotional about it. So it's really nice. And I think, or I'm asking the mayor, Jeff, that we should send thank you letters to the Holmes County Sheriff's Department, the State Patrol, Kilbuck Township, Prairie Township, and Home Fire District Number 1 for, being there with us.
Yeah, we can put something together. And thank you, Bob, for organizing that.
It
That was
turned
good.
out very well.
Good idea.
It was fun.
Matt helped too, so we got to give him some credit. He got the
Thank you,
State
Matt.
Patrol and the Sheriff's Department.
I can't say I've ever been in between lights and sirens before like I was. That was rather exhilarating.
Any other business come before council?
I have a question, Nate. Are the department heads working on their budgets as well as a 5-year plan for spending and replacements?
Yeah.
Is that moving?
Yep. I should be able to turn it all in tomorrow, I'm hoping.
Great. That's great.
Anything
Have we
else?
come along with trying to hire the person that we were going to? Because I know Karen's really going to get slammed here pretty soon.
Nate and I have kind of talked about that, and I think we've pretty much agreed what we want in the advertisement, but we felt at this point we need to wait until things kind of open up a little bit more, because we don't want how many applicants we're going to have in and out. So hopefully within the next month or so. You think, Nate?
Yeah, I'd agree.
I keep forgetting about the social distancing.
We haven't forgot, believe me.
Anything else? Our next meeting, of course, is scheduled for June 8th. How would you guys like to proceed with that meeting?
I'd like it at the council quarters. We'll still have to practice social distancing, though.
Correct. I mean, we could do like we did at our very first meeting, have it in chambers, so social distance, close it to the public, and broadcast on YouTube.
If Nate can
Right.
work.
I'd like to have it at village council too, unless some unforeseen freakish thing happens. We can't do it that way, but
Anyone else in agreement?
I
Yes.
agree.
Yes.
Good. I will plan on having our next meeting back at our regular home. Anything else? Do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved, Poland.
Second, Hofstadter.
Poland,
Aye.
Hofstadter,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Shoemaker,
Aye.
Coffee,
Aye.
Khan.
aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening and stay safe.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Hey,
Aye.
Bob Hines, how's it going?
I'm at the hospice facility right now.
Oh, sorry about that, Bob.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll call you.
Okay,
All right.
so sorry.
Okay.
See ya.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.